ANIKA, this is great to be with you. TheSessions.org. The Sessions is about trying to capture the voice of musicians that are really changing the music scene. And I got to tell you something, I travel the globe pretty crazily. Your name comes up all the time. It's always positive. It's about your great musicianship. It's about the groove that you have, how great it is your feel. You have done so many wonderful things, and you're just at the beginning of your career. Where did this start for you?
That's a long story, you know. I started playing drums really early, but get into a professional way really late, actually. It was in the age of 26.
Interesting.
I turned from a social educator into a professional musician. Luckily, there were YouTube and the internet where I put out some videos, and and I've got a lot response from everywhere around the world, and so it started, more or less.
So the power of the internet, by you putting these videos out, how'd you do the videos? Did you record them with a certain camera at all? Or did you just put them together just to have fun? Was it?
The first video was just for bringing some stuff out, a little bit of what I'm doing to present myself as a musician, for promote myself, to get jobs, more or less local jobs.
So like a marketing tool. So
yes, but this video went viral, and so I thought, okay, it would be cool to put more videos out because the response was really good, and in the end I built a business on that.
So the modern technology of the internet, by you putting these videos up, and I have seen the videos, they are fantastic, you play great, it's exciting, but as I said, in my travels, when students come up that I'm meeting with and they hear you playing, they are so excited about it. So I guess this opportunity of using this internet as a voice, YouTube has been an incredible help to you.
Totally, yes, but not just YouTube. I think YouTube is the tool where I can bring the music into a form, into you can see it, you know? You can bring music in something like visual stuff.
Absolutely.
Facebook and Twitter, these social media sites, those helped me a lot to bring it more into the world.
Interesting. So YouTube gives you the chance for them to at least see what you're doing, but then it's through the social media. So how do you work that? Are you working your computer in the morning? Do you have an organized way of how you do this?
Yes, in the meanwhile I have more structure, more organization behind that. There were the point where I decided that I will do everything by myself, and where I decided, okay, I'll be the manager of myself, and I have to spend time on that part of the business too, not just to practice and play the drums, which is of course the biggest part in my business, but I also spend a lot of time in promotion, management and everything like that, in the music business side.
So you're balancing the business part of it and the artistic side of it. So on the artistic side, developing your craft, did you have teachers? Did you work with people that you took lessons with? How did you develop your skills? Because you play excellent.
Yeah, sure. I took lessons, of course. I studied with great teachers in the past, and I'm still teaching, take lessons and teaching. I'm still teaching, yes, by myself, but I also a student by myself. So I'm using the same tools more or less. So I'm also watching a lot of lesson videos from drummers I really appreciate, and also take lessons from different teachers around the world, and of course I figure out stuff by myself, bring out some own ideas.
So did you go through, were there certain books that you went through? Were there records that you listened to? Were there bands that you listened to? How'd you bring that all together?
I've worked with a couple of books, not that much, but there were books like Syncopation, New Breed, Stick Control, you know, the most important books.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And also I've listened a lot to music. I've played a lot to music. I think that's what I did for over 15 years. Just listening to music, play along with figuring out what the feel is of the drumming part, not just what, more also what the feel is.
Absolutely.
And then I took lessons, of course, got more into music theory as well.
It's interesting because if I was to give you just one compliment, and there are many compliments that you should get, it's that you remind me of your enthusiasm and your groove like Jeff Porcaro, who I knew. You really have a sense of groove that creates a feeling that is just so comfortable.
Thanks.
Was Jeff or Toto a part of your listening process?
Totally, totally. So I would say that Jeff Porcaro is one of my biggest influences, and I still get inspired by him and by listening the music from Toto. So sometimes I go into my rehearsal room, just put my headphones on and play through the Toto stuff, you know,
absolutely.
just for fun and enjoying the music and his grooves still, like in my early years.
This is amazing because Jeff passed away in 1992, and to know that his music and his playing is still this active in the next generation with what you're doing would have made him very, very happy. It really would have. In the business side, so now here you are, still a continued student. You're teaching, so you got involved with teaching now. So teaching is a part that allows you now to, I always say, when you teach, you learn twice. So in that process, you're still learning while you're teaching. But you have students that you're teaching now and you're taking them through the process?
Yeah, I have a lot of students. I have regular students. I have students who coming just for 1 or 2 lessons for having specific information, and there are really good students coming in the meanwhile, not just the beginners, you know.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot from that students too, so it's cool because you share informations and get inspired by each other more or less in the end.
How great. Is the business side now the social media and that part, you know, do you have certain hours during the day that you work that, or is that something that you...
Yeah, I set myself the goal to work 3 to 4 hours just in my office.
Good.
To get everything together, and then I would go out to the rehearsal room and spend some hours there figuring the artist side more out, you know, practicing and everything. And yeah, that's what I'm doing when I'm at home. So that's a different thing when you are on tour.
Absolutely.
So that's hard to bring everything together because the business side and doing your office stuff, you have to do it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter if you are on tour or not.
Absolutely.
And bringing all that together without any help, it's really hard. It's a lot to do. It's always a lot to do.
Well, you know, it's a lot to do because you've built a career that now is global, and because of this internet web and reach that we have, you're taking this to a whole nother level because here you are composing music. I mean, how do you find time to compose? How do you organize your day that way?
I take a couple of weeks in a row. So this is my composing time.
Interesting.
I don't compose somewhere here, somewhere there. When the composing time is coming up, I listen a lot to music. I go out, get inspired by different stuff, by art, by going to theaters and talking a lot with others. It's also really inspiring. And yeah, I can find a lot of creativity in such situations, and then I start composing.
And when you start composing, do you compose at a piano? Do you compose on a guitar? How do you compose?
It's different. It changes from time to time. Sometimes I start with a keyboard with an idea of harmonies. Right. Sometimes I start with the idea on the drums with a groove, right, or a couple of grooves in a row, and build some parts out of it, like a verse, a chorus, and stuff like that. And
do you play any other instruments?
A little bit keyboard, yes, piano. I do also the bass lines and everything with the piano because I wish to play bass. I can feel that, but I can't play, you know, I have to practice bass, definitely. And I have all these lines in my head, these bass lines, and I just can bring it out through the keyboard part. So
you play it with your fingers and you get the bass part out and you create that. Beautiful.
Yeah. Then I go to the musicians I'm working with and show them the result, and they recorded in real life, in real,
Right.
you know what I mean?
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So you have a band now called Neville,
Yeah.
and you're organizing that band to eventually go out and perform and record.
Yeah.
And you organize all of the band too, right? That's a band that you organize?
Yes, I organize everything. I mean, we start right now, but I'm reaching out at the moment, for local shows to warm up a little bit on stage.
Right.
And actually, this is really hard because the band is unknown. So we start from the beginning, you know. And I have to manage everything. So also tour management. You have to prepare everything really well. Also that the equipment is on tour with you. I'm responsible for the equipment stuff,
Right.
for the instruments in different countries as well. So we have a show in Dublin. I have to make sure that everyone is having their instruments on stage.
Absolutely.
So I do the tour management and everything, yes.
So you're a real, we say entrepreneur. You have a real business skill. Where do you think you got that from?
It's a lot is coming from learning by doing, honestly. And of course, I played in a lot of bands where we were on tour. So I've talked a lot to the tour managers. I saw what they did. I saw how they were organized, and I have all these memories about that. And I just put it together in that way, you know. And of course, I have a couple of skills in the music business side from studying that on the university, but it's not enough for the real life,
Right.
you know. You have to make some experiences in life. And
Absolutely, and that's kind of what the sessions is about. We bring this panel, which you were just on here in Germany, and we bring this panel to the students so they can hear real life stories. When you were sharing your stories, I saw all the students looking up at you and just with their eyes wide open, taking in every word that you were saying, listening to how you built this career and how you're continuing to build it. And what's amazing is now the band is one thing. You have an entire solo career, because I heard you at PASIC, which is the Percussive Arts Society International Convention. You played solo on stage to your tracks, and you were fantastic. You absolutely inspired everyone there. So now as a solo artist, and the London Drum Show, there's all these different shows and festivals in Quebec City, Canada. All these shows now, you got to put that act together, right?
yeah, but that is with the help of the endorsement partners, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't have to put that much energy in the organizing
It's
part.
organizing the part of it, right?
So I can can be more focused on the artist part. I just can practice, bring up a good performance on stage without having other stuff in my head,
Yes,
like,
yes.
I have to organize these or that. So, you know, I just focus them. And
So they supply the drums for you, they
Yes.
organize the flight, they get your hotel, so when you get there, everything is set up, which is kind of what I do, which is really, really great to have the companies behind us. So when you're preparing songs for a solo tour, you have so many songs, you can then just choose what you want to play. So each show can be a little different.
it can. So, but I'd like to put together a live setup for a tour. So when I'm on tour, I'm playing the
Excellent.
same stuff.
Excellent.
Probably I changed the songs a little bit in the row, but I played the same tunes. What changes is always the solo part, so I'm jamming a lot.
Right.
And also the teaching part is always different, but when I just perform, then I have my couple of songs with me and I just decide to play that songs.
Right.
Next time it will be different.
Right.
Then I put together a new package.
Well, there's several times that I've heard you perform, they always were different. So I give you a tremendous amount of credit because that's not an easy thing to do for an artist to have a fresh show,
Yeah.
even if you're playing the same song,
Yeah.
to deliver it like it's the first time.
Yeah.
You do that so, so well. If you had to, in closing, if we had to like look at the next generation, and as future generations watch this in many years, even though you're young now, as future generations watch to learn from you, what would you say to the next generation of how they should prepare themselves for a career in the music industry?
I think really important is to have passion on what you do, the love for that what you do.
Yeah.
You should be satisfied with what you do and not just satisfied with the result, satisfied with your work in a full thing. And I think then you will have success.
Interesting, very, very interesting. Could you now explain that same message in your language in German?
Das Wichtigste ist, dass man das, was man tut, wirklich von Herzen tut, mit Leidenschaft und dass man wirklich dahinter steht und das einfach liebt, was man macht. Und wenn man spürt, dass man morgens aufsteht und ist zufrieden mit dem Tag und er hat eigentlich gerade erst begonnen, dann ist das das, was man wirklich machen will. Und ich glaube, dann ist man auch erfolgreich mit dem, was man tut. Did you get it?
Absolutely. I can feel your passion just when you're speaking. It's amazing, Annika, what you have done and what you continue to do is really amazing. You're young and you're in to a certain degree, in a man's world, but you're making a difference as a leadership role for women, which is absolutely wonderful to see. I have seen you perform before. I look forward to seeing you perform again. Thank you so much on behalf of the sessions. You have done excellent.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir.